Hi everyone, welcome to the JavaScript interview preparation course chapter 6, and in today's lecture we are going to learn about objects in JavaScript. So here I have opened my index.html file with live server, and let's deep dive into the following topics. So first of all we are going to see about objects, then we are going to see sub and also we are going to see some subtopics in objects in JavaScript, and we will definitely do some output based questions on this topic. So first of all, you must be wondering that what are objects in JavaScript. So objects in JavaScript are basically the collection of key value pairs. For example, let's say you declare an object here and you provide some field name as name, Pankaj, age 23. So this syntax is itself called as object, right? And here name and age are called as key, and here what you have declared corresponding that keys are known as values. So here Pankaj and 23 are values corresponding to their respective key, right? So this was the object declaration. There are some properties. Let's say if you console this object, let's name it as obj, right? Let's console this, right? Here you can see that we are getting the our object printed value. Here age is 23 and name is Pankaj, and its type is object, right? So let's say if you want to add some value, key value pairs inside this object obj, how you can do that? So basically what you will have to do, you just have to write the syntax as obj uh, dot let's say you want to add a key named as is admin is equal to p true, right? Now if you will print this object, you will see that we have got. So when you will print this, you can see that we have got another field name as is admin and its value is true. So in this way you can add key value to your object, right? And let's say if you want to delete some key values from this object, then how you can do that? So basically the simple syntax is delete uh, delete obj dot, let's say you want to delete the age field, right? And let's you console this. Here you can see that our age field is deleted, right? So this was the basic operations of addition and deletion of key value pairs inside your object. uh, Now let's see some more concept inside this. So let's say you declare object as const user is equal to, and you provide some field as name, let's say Pankaj, age 23, and so this is an object declaration, right? Now what, how you will add, let's say you want to, so now let's say you want to add a field like uh, you like this true. So here you can see that we are getting error here, right? So to add these types of values, you basically need to add them as a string, right? So now you can see that actually this is syntax error. When you will print this user object, you can see here we have actually added this field you like this, and the corresponding value is true here. So basically this was the way you, if you wanted to add a key with more than one words, so this was the way you would have added, right? So let me mark it as done for the above topic, and let's move to the another topic in this. So there is a question that how would you add a dynamic key value pair to an object? So before going to the questions, let's discuss one more topic, that you must have heard that everything in JavaScript is an object. But do you think that primitive data types are also objects like string, number, boolean? So these types, primitive data types, are not actually object, but JavaScript consider these primitive types as object behind the scene. Uh, let's say you declare a string s is equal to, let's say, Pankaj, right? I- So you declare a string as s, right? When you will console the type of s, you will see that it's an string, right? It's not an object. But you must have also seen that you apply some methods like s, let's write it as here, s dot to uppercase, right? You convert this and then again you print this as, you will see that actually we are getting the, okay, we will have to print this out. Okay, this error we are getting here. So here you can see that we are actually getting capital form of our string. So these methods are applicable only to objects, right? But here we are actually applying these methods, JavaScript methods, to string only. So basically what I want to say that this to uppercase method of JavaScript is applicable to string object only, right? And we have seen above that the type of our string is string here. So how is it able to apply this string object method to a string only? So behind the scene, that I wanted to say that behind the scene, JavaScript is considering this string as a string object. So let's see some more concepts here, right? Let me prove you that this string is not an object. Why? Because we have declared object as, let's say, const user is equal to, let's say, name we had provided as KUMAR and age field as 23, right? Inside objects we had seen that we can add field dynamically, as let's say you want to add user dot first name is equal to Rohit. Now when you will console this user, you will see that we have actually got three fields as age, first name and name, right? And in this object, if you want to add any field, right, here we have added a field name as first name here, right? So this operation we can only perform on object, right? So and if you consider this string as object, so let's try to add another value as a new another. So let's try to add another key inside this string. If you consider it as an object, let's add s dot key is equal to let's say value, right? And if you will print s now, so what you will get, let me comment this out first. So here you are printing s and you are only getting Pankaj. You did not able to, so you are not able to add this key field and corresponding value. So this was the proof that this string s is not an object but string only, and JavaScript behind the scene treat it as an object by wrapping it in an string object, right? What JavaScript must have done here is that JavaScript must have wrapped this string into string object, right? String object. So that's why you are able to apply these string methods on this string object. So this was the concept that I wanted to discuss with you. So now let's move to the next topic that I wanted to share with you, that how would you add dynamic key value pairs to an object. So how would you do that? So to do this, let's see here. Here we have two variables, name as key and name. Inside key we have stored first name, and inside name we have added Pankaj, right? So if you want to add these key value pairs inside this user object, how would you have done this? So to do this, what you have done, you must have added key, and corresponding to this key you must have added name here, right? So let's try to print here. So here we are getting undefined. Why? Because to add key here you need to add this here like this, inside this square bracket, actually key, and this corresponding to key you must have added your name here. So here you can see that the user, we are actually consoling the user dot first name. So here user dot first name is Pankaj, right? And if you will console the user itself, what you will see? You will see that we are actually getting the key value pair as first name and Pankaj. So this was the way you would have added key value, dynamic key value pairs inside a object, and this is the syntax where we use square brackets for our key and simply adding the name value corresponding to that key. So this was the way you would have added dynamic value to the object, right? So this is done. So now the another question you may encounter during the interview is that, so how to access each key value pairs in the objects? So the answer of this question is using for in loop. So you cannot iterate, so objects are not iterables. So you cannot iterate objects using the conventional for loops that we have used in array or map method, right? So to access each key value pairs, you must be using for in loop inside JavaScript. So let's see this syntax here. First of all, let's define an object. User name, let's say Pankaj, right? Age is 23. Is, let's say, add gender. Gender is male. Is admin is true here, right? So this is, you declare this object. Now you want to uh, access each key value pairs of this user object. So how you will do this? So you will need a for in loop. Let's say you name this as for key in user. So let's print first of all key here. So here you can see that we are actually getting all the keys printed here on our console. So this was the syntax for accessing keys. So now let's say if you want to access corresponding value, so what you will do that, the syntax is user, then bracket, square bracket, then providing key inside it. So here you can see that we are actually getting the values of corresponding keys. So if you want to print a key also, better way is to do that, key then corresponding. Let's say the better way to print this out is like this. So you can see that we are getting key and corresponding value. Name Pankaj is 23, gender male, is admin true. So this was the way you would have traversed the object and accessed the key value pairs of the object. So this is done, and let's move to the questions now. So here you are getting first question is that what is the output of this corresponding code here? So think that what will be the output? You must be thinking that basically if you will print this, you will actually get the object as our printed value. So let's see what is the printed value here. So you can see that here the printed value is A as 3 and B is 2. But here you must not have focused here that we have actually two keys with same name A, right? A here and A here. And actually here you are getting the last declared value of A, that is 3, and B as 2. You are not getting A as 1. Why? Because inside object, if you declare duplicate keys with different values, you will actually get the key printed that is declared at the end, right? So here you are getting A as printed but not the first one. So this is the working of the object basically. So basically this is the working of the object, and you must have got these two values of object as A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 2. So right. So the next question here is that create a function multiply by 2 which will take object as its parameter that multiplies all numeric property value of nums here. So you are provided with this object nums and you want to multiply every numeric values of the keys with 2. So how to implement this function? You can actually use for in loop. So how you will do that? So let's declare the function itself. Function, let's copy this. Multiply by 2. Here it will take object as its parameter, and inside this function what you will do, you will call for in loop inside obj, and what you will provide a condition here that if type of uh, if type of object, if type of the value inside the key is equal to number, right? So then what you will do, that you will actually update or multiply the values with 2, object with key. Right, now you will, when you will console this, you can see that, okay, so here we will have to uh, call this function first. So multiply by 2, and inside this you pass the object. So here you can see that we got the updated value of our object, right? Here he got multiplied by 2 and b got multiplied by 2. So here you can see that here a is 100 and b is 200. Here a is 200 and b is 400. So this was the way you must have implemented this question inside your interview. Now let's move to the third question. So the third question is asking that what would be the output of this problem statement. So here you have given an empty object A, and there is another object B with key and B as its value, object C with key and C as its value. Here what you are doing, that inside A corresponding to B object you are providing 123, and inside A again corresponding to C object you are adding the value as 456. So what will happen if you will console A of B? So let's see that. So here what you see, that we are actually getting 456, but against A of B we have stored 123. So why we are getting 456 here? So the basic, let's first console the type of, let's first console the A object. So here we are actually getting that the type of the A is object. So we did not get any value like B and its corresponding value as 123. Why? Because you cannot store object as a key inside another object. The object cannot be converted into key unless it's a string. So here when you try to convert this B object into key, you are not able to do that. So here but we are actually doing this by forceful manner. So but JavaScript will do that, it will convert it into as object and will store its corresponding value. So for B it is stored it as object, for C it again stored it as object. And since object is similar for inside a single object, so it will store the latest value that we have stored inside it, what we have seen above. Let's move to the another question, that what's JSON.stringify and JSON.pass do in JavaScript. So these are basically the methods which are used to convert a JSON object to a string, and again JSON string to object again, right? So let's declare an object here. Let's say object is equal to, let's say you declare a name field as Pankaj, age field as 23, is admin as pro here, right? So this is the object. Now let's try to implement this JSON.stringify method on this object. So let's print this first object, right? Now let's apply this JSON.stringify upon this object, and again print this object. So we have to print this only because the copy is created here. So here you can see that in the first console we actually got the object format of our object, right? But when we applied JSON.stringify method, you can see that our object is converted into a string, right? So this actually method actually so this JSON.stringify method actually converts your object into a string format. Now if you want to let's say first of all you store this string into object to string is equal to JSON.stringify, then you print this object to string. So here you can see that we are actually getting the string value of our object. Now if you want to convert this string again back to your object, so how you will do that? So the basic syntax for doing that is using json.parse method. So here first of all, store, let's create a variable to store that value, object value. So string to object, right, is equal to uh, json.parse, and you pass the stringified object to str that we have stored in the previous variable here, right? Now when you will again try to console this string to object, you will see here that again we converted that string to object back, right? So here you can see that first of all this was our object, then we converted that object into a string format using json.stringify, then again we converted this string only to back our object using json.parse method. So this was the this was the way these two methods work. Now you must be thinking that what is the application of these two methods. So basically these two methods can be used to store values in our local storage. How? So let's go to a website named as, let's open any website, let's say MDN, right? We open this website. Now let's inspect this out. So when you come to your application here inside console, here you have local storage, right? And inside this local storage you can see we have actually stored a value corresponding to key, right? So these values are actually this is an object, right? You can see here this is an object, and this object is in string format stored in this your local storage. So because why we store object as a string in our local storage? Because in our local storage you cannot store objects directly, so you would have to convert them into a string first. So uh, let's store our let's store something in our local storage. So here is the syntax that you can use. So local storage dot set item test as, okay, let me comment this out first. So let's copy these objects here. Here you can see that we have declared an object here, and now don't print this out. We converted this object into string format, and when you want to store this stringified object inside your local storage, so this is the syntax that you can use. And if you want to access that value, you can use dot get item here. So here you can see that we actually got the string format of our object, and inside when you will go to our application here, and inside this local storage you can see our object is stored into string format here, local storage. So this was the way you would have stored your objects into your local storage as a string. So let's come back to our console, right? Let's comment this out. So here is the last fifth question. So inside this question, the question is asking what will be the output of this code. So you must have seen these three dots. So these three dots are actually known as spread operators, and in our previous lecture we have used these against array or objects. So here we are actually getting string inside an array. So what do you think will be the output of this code? So basically what you can see here, we are actually getting the spreaded out values of this string as individual elements, right? So here you can see that all the elements of this string are spread out inside an array here. So here you can see that P, A and K, A, J as different unique values. So this was the output of this code. Now again another question here is that what is the output of this code? What do you think? What will be the output of this code? So this question is again based on the spread operator. Here you have here you have object user, and let's say you define another object as admin, right? And I'm sorry. So here you can see that we have declared another object as admin, and inside this admin we are adding one key value pair as admin true. And what we are doing here is that we are actually spreading out this user object inside this admin object. So let's see what will be the output of this code, and let's print this object admin, right? So here you can see that inside our admin object we actually added one key value pair as admin true, age is 23, name is Pankaj. So what it actually did here is that this spread operator added all the key value pairs inside this admin object. So this is very important while you are working with a JavaScript, and this may be the important question that can be asked in your interview. So for today, this was the last question inside this topic, and since this video is getting longer, so I will teach you another concepts of this object topic inside the next video. Till then, thank you.